Okay, so I am back for part 2 of my 10 best long-term investment stocks. Here we go. The information in this video and the links provided are for general information only and should not be taken as constituting professional advice from the Aussie Share Trader. The Aussie Share Trader is not a financial advisor. You should consider seeking independent legal, financial, taxation or other advice to check how the information relates to your unique circumstances. The Aussie Share Trader is not liable for any loss caused, whether due to negligence or otherwise arising from the use of or reliance on the information provided directly or indirectly by use of this video. G'day guys, Aussie Share Trader back. This is part 2 of the 10 best investment stocks. So this is my long term. If you haven't seen part 1, I'll put a link somewhere around here just to go back and have a look. Or actually what I'll do, I'll put a link in the description. So you can, after you finish this video, you can go back and look at the first one. So I give 5 stocks in the first video that I'm looking to hold long term. And this is my next 5. Okay, so the first one is MFG, which is Magellan Financial Group. Magellan are a funds manager, been around a while, pretty damn big. They've got about 60 billion or nearing 60 billion FUM, funds under management. They have a really solid history of building their funds under management, and really with these types of company, that's what they've got to keep doing, because the more funds under management, the more commissions they get, and the more money that they can disperse to shareholders. It also has a good history of returns. So not only is it good at getting new clients, it's pretty good at investing their money for them as well. They're currently $26.70. If we're looking 5-10 years, of all the fund managers on the ASX, this is my favorite. I would happy to hold these guys. They're a little bit volatile. They've come down from the high 20s, they went down to the low 20s, back to the mid 20s at the moment. But yeah, again, 5-10 years from now, maybe 20, I don't think you can go too wrong with Magellan. Okay, now the second one today is Costa Group, CGC. Costa are essentially they're farmers. They grow fruits and vegetables, berries, avocados are big. Obviously, people like avocados at the moment, so they're in that market. Mushrooms. Now, this company was run by Frank Costa, who was the president of Geelong FC. I won't hold that against him, but it's been public now for a couple of years, maybe 2.5 years, I think. I think it was early 2015 they went public, and they've done very well over that time. The profits of Costa and the agricultural growers do depend on the weather, so it's a bit out of their control. But I think overall the space is pretty solid, and this is a pretty good company. It's growing quite fast, expected to grow by another 20% this financial year. Currently at $6.38 for a long-term investment, and if you want to be in that space, you can't go past Costa Group. Okay, the third one today is one I have spoken about in my trading videos. It's Japara Healthcare, JHC. Now, I have been trading this stock fairly frantically for the past few months. Had some pretty bad trades, had some pretty good trades. I think trading wise I'll be about even on this stock, but I do hold them in a long-term portfolio as well. Their last announcement, their last company report wasn't great. It wasn't bad. There was just basically no growth in it, so the market didn't like it. It went down pretty hard. I think it hit $1.63 only a few months back, sitting at $2.19 today. So that's a run up of about 34% in the last couple of months. They're in the aged healthcare. Nothing too exciting about this group, but they're continuing to grow just organically. Again, 5-10 years from now, I'd expect them to be quite a bit bigger than they are now. JHC Japara, definitely one to have a look out for your long-term investing. Now, the next one, as I've spoken about in the past, the mining space isn't one that I get too deeply involved in. But when I do, it's a cyclical sort of thing, and I generally just stick to the big guys just to have a nice diversified look into the mining space. And you can't go past BHP because they're the biggest in town. Old Broken Hill Petroleum, as they used to be called. Of course, now they're called BHP Billiton. Not much I can say about BHP. It's all out there. They're currently around $27.17. They're just one for your portfolio for the long term, just so you got some exposure to that mining space that's so important to us here in Australia. No surprises with BHP. They're probably the most watched stock on the ASX, so not much more I need to say about them. And the last one. This is our friends from across the ditch. FPH is the share, Fisher & Paykel Healthcare Corporation. Not many good things come from New Zealand, except maybe Fisher & Paykel and my wife. I'm just a big sack of sugar. But this group, Fisher & Paykel Healthcare, make equipment for hospitals, sleep apnea, breathing apparatus, dehumidifiers, all these things for hospitals. Again, it's a growing area. I'm happy enough to be in the right stocks in the healthcare space, because my philosophy is that as societies progress and evolve, more and more money is spent on healthcare. So it really is a growing, exponentially growing industry, and it will be for generations to come, I foresee myself. So Fisher & Paykel are a good little business from New Zealand. They've been around for a long time. I think back in the 30s, the two guys got together. So have a look at Fisher & Paykel. They're currently $12.18. They've had a pretty good year. Most of these shares that I've spoke about, you're not going to look at them and think, well, they're cheap. They're always going to look a bit expensive. That's the thing about a good quality stock. They always look a bit expensive, and you never know exactly when's the right time to get in. So have a look at these and just keep that in mind. The PEs may look a bit high, but that's because they're quality stocks and people want to buy them. And as long as you've got enough people who believe that, the price will keep going up as the earnings go up, of course. Okay, so looking back at all of them, REA, Real Estate Group, Downer, DOW, Treasury Wines, TWE, WiseTech, WTC, TPG Telecom, their TPM is their code, MFG, Magellan, CGC is Costa, JHC Japara, BHP Billiton, and FPH Fisher & Paykel. So that is all my 10 stocks revealed. These remember me, these are ones for the long term, so don't get caught up in the day-to-day sort of price action with these sort of types of stocks if you are buying for a 5 or 10 year or longer time frame. Anyway guys, that is it. I hope you get something out of that. Remember to always do your own research. These are my 10. They may not suit your investing philosophy or outlook, so just have a look at these ones in conjunction with others that you come across, and build your own portfolio over time. Catch you guys. By the way, I love New Zealand.